All right, so we've got our class, but once again, it doesn't really do anything. We can get access to it inside the shell. We can start creating instances of it, but we haven't implemented any functionality inside of this class yet. So let's take a look at properties. I want to be able to create some properties for this class called course. So I'm going to jump back into my course file. I'm going to delete out pass. We don't need that anymore. And I'm going to create a few properties here. Now, as I do this, it's going to look just like variables that we've worked with before. So I'll call one, I need one for the course name. So I'm going to call this name, and I'm going to make it equal to Python. We'll create another one here. We'll call this students. And maybe I'll make that a string collection, and I'll put some names in there. We'll say we got Patrick, we've got Joe, we've got Brent, and so on, right? So now I've got this class called course that's got two properties inside of it. A name property equal to Python, and student, which is a list, maybe we'll call that students. There's a plural amount inside there with a list of names. I'll go ahead and save that. Now I'm going to run this, F5. Now once again, restarts my Python window there. And now I'm going to get access to this course. So I'll create a variable here called C1. I'll make it equal to a new course. Okay, great. Now I can get access to anything that I've implemented within that course class. So now I can say C1 dot. Now if I give it a moment here, there's a little drop down, nice little IntelliSense menu where I can see the two properties that I've now created, name and students. So let's say I'm going to get name. There we go. I'll hit my enter key, and we can see that C1, its name, is Python. Now what if I do C1.students, and there's that list, Patrick, Joe, and Brent. Now what if I create another instance of the class object, or the class course object, equals a new course. All right, C2 dot name. I'll hit my enter key, and there's Python. Now, very important right here, and we're going to see this change up a little bit as we start elaborating more and more on classes, but both C1 and C2, they're both courses of type of course, but they all contain the same data. They're all Python. If I were to do C2.students, it would be the same list. And the reason why this is because I've hard-coded those values inside of the class itself. So name is always going to be Python. The students is always going to be Patrick, Joe, and Brent, right? Or whatever we put inside there. It's exactly the same. These are two different instances of the class called courses, but they contain the same values for these two properties. Now, that's something we want to change up here. But just to demonstrate, we can create properties within the class, and then we can gain access to those properties by creating an instance of the class and then referencing the properties directly. So try this part out right here. Create your class, call it course, and drop in a few properties, give them some values, and make sure you test it out inside the shell. Once you've done that, let's jump into the next video, and we're going to take a look at utilizing the initialize function of a class, and we'll get into properties a little bit more.